Max Verstappen, you are the world champion! The world champion!
You know, you need good people around, you need good guidance, and besides that, you always need to believe in yourself that you can be the best and that you can beat anyone out there. There will always be moments where people try to put you down or not try to support you, but you always have to just keep going, believe that you can achieve anything. Most of the time, the most talented people, actually, they don't even end up in Formula One, because besides talent, it's about working hard and how you can be better than the people around you. If you can combine both of them, talent with hard work, that's when you can reach the top.
I always keep telling myself, don't give up, don't give up, just keep pushing, keep trying, don't give up, keep at it, like the last race. Didn't look great, we were way too slow and I couldn't keep up, and I just kept telling myself, something might happen, you never know, just do the best you can. You're never perfect in any area. I can always improve. I can improve massively in this or massively in that. How can I prepare myself better, or how can I make sure that I understand the balance of the car better? You always look in these kind of areas like, what can I understand or learn from all these experiences I've had so far?
That's what my dad always said, especially when I was still racing in go-karts in the national championships. I had a lot of wins and I didn't know what losing was like. And my dad was like, well, one day you will learn and it will hurt. So then, of course, that day came where I didn't win. And I was crying, you know, because I hate losing. I think that's a good mentality, but you also should analyze and understand why that is. And you should also, of course, then be grateful, be respectful to the guy who beat you. I think over the years, you learn how to do that better. But you need those moments to become a better driver.
The Brazilian Grand Prix goes to Max Verstappen, a year after he finished second and had it taken away.
The way I grew up, having the experience of my dad by my side from a very young age, I think you get prepared in a different way. For me, it's never good enough. You try to look for the little details that can go better. I mean, this year I think has been amazing, but I will never be satisfied at the end of the day.
People sometimes think I'm a bit arrogant, but I think I'm just very straightforward and I know what I want. And I will do anything I can to get to that point. I don't think that's arrogance, it's just really like I'm committed. I love the sport, I love racing, and that's what I grew up with as well. My whole family, my dad, my mom, everyone was involved. I think when you're really just committed to something, you just really on it. You really are going for your goal, and I don't think that has to do with arrogance, because I know I'm not perfect, nobody is perfect. I know, that I constantly want to improve as well as a driver. So we just move on with it.
Verstappen crosses the line to win 9 Grand Prix in a row and tie the all-time record.
You have to believe in yourself. Of course, you learn from moments. It doesn't need to be mistakes or good things. You learn from particular moments. You try to become an even better driver, and I think that's again what I tried to do this year. I think I would get bored if I don't see the opportunity to fight for a win. For me now, actually fighting at the top, I'm really very motivated. I love what I'm doing, but also the challenge of actually wanting more, trying to stay on top, trying to actually make the gap even bigger. That's probably my motivation now. For me, it's definitely not boring. This is why I love the sport. I love, of course, driving to the limit, but I love winning. I like to be in front. I like to be in front of everyone else, and that's what I enjoy the most. What is very important when you're fighting for a championship is that you are very consistent and you barely make mistakes, and that's what I try to aim for. And of course, you're not a robot, you're not perfect. There are always things that can be done better, but you try to be as close as possible to perfection, I think.
So how close are you to perfection?
At the moment close, but it's never good enough. I always want to be better, so that's why I try to look at and work on every time.
Max Verstappen wins the Japanese Grand Prix. Red Bull are champions of the world for the 6th time. They take the Constructors' title for the 2nd year in a row.
I was born to race, but my parents, they never pushed me into racing, and they said, you can do whatever you like. But of course, naturally, when you grow up and you see all this happening around you, you're like, oh, I would like to try that. And then I really liked it, so my parents never needed to push me into it. But yeah, of course, it's very nice, and it helped me a lot throughout my career. Always in a good way, I think, putting the, not pressure, but making me realize that what I was doing at the time was not enough. I was winning my races and stuff, but he said it's not enough to be successful in Formula One, because it's not, you can't rely on your talent only to be the best. And I think slowly, of course, throughout my go-karting career, you started to understand that and start to work harder for it. And I think still, to my dad's liking, I think all the way to Formula One, I still didn't work hard enough in his eyes.
Yeah, I mean, I tried other sports. I tried soccer, I tried ice hockey and stuff like that, but I think I quite quickly realized that my talent was on 4 wheels and stuff, so I stopped that. And basically up until I was 16, I was in go-karting. Then I did 1 year of Formula 3, and then I got the call up to Formula 1.
7 victories in a row for Max Verstappen, who wins the Hungarian Grand Prix.
You know, the goal was together with my dad, where we traveled all over Europe. It was first, of course, to get to Formula 1. That's already an achievement. Then, of course, you hope that you one day stand on the podium or maybe win a race. You know, these things were achieved. Then the ultimate goal is, of course, to win a championship. And then, you know, once you achieve that, like today, and then having that emotional moment also with my dad behind into the garage, basically, it was, yeah, really special and something I will never forget. I always went into it like, we will see what happens. I was not too fussed about it. I was like, you know, I know whatever car I'll drive, I'll try to do my very best, and then we'll see where we end up. And of course, throughout that year, everything went so quick. I got into Formula 1, and of course, you know, in the beginning, I made mistakes and I was learning, but that, for me, was the better way. I preferred to do that in F1 than wherever, you know, other categories. And for sure, that first year in F3, the good thing about it was we were doing a lot of races. You know, I did 32 races in a whole season, so you could learn a lot from one potential mistake and then you could rectify it in the other one. So for me, that was a really good year. But then, of course, you know, being already, you know, this time in Formula 1, crazy, you know, 24 years old, started when I was 17, and also the trust Red Bull put in me from that very young age and then promote me to the senior team. It's just an incredible journey altogether. You still need to deliver, you know, every single weekend you need to try and be perfect. I know being perfect is super hard, but I try to be as close as possible all the time. For me, it doesn't matter who I have as a teammate. I always believe in myself, and I'm confident that I can always do a good job, you know, so it doesn't matter who they put alongside.
Max Verstappen comes out of the final corner. Max wins the British Grand Prix. It's the first time he's won it as the British Grand Prix.
I always believe in myself. I think that's important. That's the most important. And I believe in the car, I believe in the team, I believe in all the people involved. Well, a lot of things go through your mind every single race, when it's going well or not. You know, you're thinking a lot in your head, like, is this going to go well? It's not, and then you see it's not going to go well. But I always keep telling myself, you know, don't give up, don't give up. Just keep pushing, keep trying to, every lap, try to be, you know, smooth, try to hit apexes nice, try to be nice on tires. And that constant, like, telling yourself, don't give up, keep at it. Keep, like, you know, the last race didn't look great. We were way too slow and I couldn't keep up. And I just kept telling myself, something might happen. You never know until the last corner of the last lap. So I just kept telling myself, just do the best you can. Keep pushing yourself. And these things come back quite often throughout the race. When you're on the lead or catching or second, third, you're never perfect in any area. So let's say you're at 98%, whatever you can call it. I always look at it, I can always improve, because it's not, I can improve massively in this or massively in that. It's just tiny things, or how can I try to influence the weekend a bit better? How can I prepare myself better? How can I make sure that I understand the balance of the car better for qualifying race? You know, these kind of differences. So how can I understand the tires better? All these kind of things. Of course, next year the tires will be different again, so you have to learn that as well. But you always look in these kind of areas like, what can I understand or learn from all these experiences I've had so far? I never really wanted to copy anyone, because I always feel, for me, copying is, you can only be just as good, and I don't want to be just as good. I want to be myself and hopefully try to be better. Yeah, it's just testing yourself, pushing yourself, never like think that it's easy, or you never get complacent, really. You just always try to push yourself to be better. I think that prepared me in a way very well for criticism or just positive noises, because I didn't really care. I was just very neutral. Like, I don't care if it's negative, and I don't really care if it's positive. You know, because it doesn't bring me anything. If I think I can walk on water, I'm gonna become arrogant. And when it's very negative, you're just gonna be upset and be angry at everyone. So it's better to just be in the middle and forget about both sides and just focus on what you have to do and what you can control. And that's what's happening in the car. It's just, you know, racing drivers, they of course look at themselves. We want to do everything we can to win a race. And I think what is also the positive side about racing drivers, that we can forget very quickly and we just move on and just go to the next. Luckily, we also have a lot of races for that. I mean, you have to push yourself, and
I know I've been on the other side as well, where you're not in the lead and you're trying to catch up, and that's very frustrating. This is great, but you want to now try and stay there, right? So you have to work probably even harder.
Yeah.
And yeah, sometimes, no risk, no fun. So, you need to spice it up a bit. I mean, that's also, I think, how a bit of a motto like Dietrich used to have and use, no risk, no fun. So we implemented that as well. I always wanted to win one, and then, you'll see where you go from there. And like I said, yeah, everything what comes now is a bonus, but that's still, that doesn't mean that if I lose a race, I will still be upset. But still, then maybe a few minutes after, I'll be like, it's okay. Yeah, well, I mean, it's just very important that you look at yourself. I mean, it doesn't really matter, of course, what people are saying, from the outside, because, you have to just focus on what you can control, and that's within the team, right? And the car. And that's what we are doing. I came into the sport because I loved racing. And of course, the popularity went up, and, I've been winning races, winning championships, and naturally, you make new deals, you earn more money. But at the end of the day, that is not why I'm in the sport, because, and it also, that is not a reason why it would keep me in the sport, because it's all about just feeling happy and that you love what you're doing, and that you can always tell yourself, are you fully committed to what you're doing? And as long as I can say to myself, yes, I am, and I'm doing everything I can to get the best out of myself every year, then I'm staying. You have to score points every single weekend. Of course, you always hope for the best, score maximum amount of points, but you also have to settle for whatever it is if you can't win. And that's what I've learned over the years of Formula 1 as well. Sometimes I went a bit too aggressive, or you make a mistake, you lose all the points you had. So, racing experience, because I only did 1 year in F3 before I got to Formula 1, but at that time, when I was about to sign in F1, my dad also asked me that, are you sure, are you sure about making that jump to F1? I said, yes, because I want to be there, and even if I make mistakes there, at least I'm in, and then we'll see what happens after. So we went for it, of course, and luckily it's all working out quite well, but yeah, it was a big learning curve for sure.